Welcome into the Summertree Sports Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Elijah, along with Braden and Hayden.
Yeah.
We are here.
What's up, friends?
Today is the 17th. We're excited for another weekend in football. Before we get started,
When did we do last week's podcast? Was it Wednesday?
It was Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Oh, I thought we did it Tuesday.
I have a huge complaint this week. I love my sister, but niece has a birthday party this Saturday at 11. That's when the Tennessee-Florida game kicks off. And then I go to a wedding. People, fall is for football.
Yeah, don't get married in the fall.
The winter and spring is wedding season. Me and Braden got married in January. I got married in May. Hayden has not yet been married.
So he's just good on all fronts.
But
I got a Bumble match the other day.
fall season is football season. And I wish everyone would get on this train.
Yes.
Because when I go to this wedding on Saturday, I'm sure it's going to be beautiful. So excited for the bride and groom.
It's going to be hot, dude.
It's going to be hot. Every dude there is going to be thinking, I wonder what the Georgia Notre Dame score is.
Let me check that update.
Hey, bro. They got Wi-Fi here? Because I'm trying to stream this game.
Hey.
Praise God for Watch ESPN. Everything streams now.
If you want updates, I know you'd be on your phone anyways. But I'm at the fire department on Saturday, and I ain't going to do nothing but watch that game unless I have to leave.
Well, and A&M kicks off at 2:30, so I'll get to watch some of that. They play Auburn. It's going to be a big game, I think.
Dude, I feel you.
Top 15 matchup. So that'll be a big game. But I'm like,
I have a wedding to go to on November.
I'm going to be rolling into this wedding, like, starting the fourth quarter. And Carolina's, I already know Carolina is going to get so angry at me because in the ceremony,
yeah,
I'm going to be flipping through, checking that score. And she's going to be like, babe, would you put your phone up? Would you put your phone up? And I'm going to say, I would if people would stop scheduling weddings during the fall.
And it won't seem like a big deal. It won't seem like a big deal at the time, but then as soon as you get in the car, at least how this works with me, I'm just really bothered that you're on your phone.
It seems like you didn't care about the wedding.
That's not it, though. But, you know,
I just can care about two things at once. I can care about this wedding.
I can multitask.
And I can care about this football game. And yes, if I'm going to record the game so I can watch the fourth quarter later on.
You guys both deal with that? Right? You said you guys both kind of do that?
Yeah.
I might delete my Bumble.
Dude, I feel
priorities.
I've got a wedding to go to on November 30th, and that's the day of the Tennessee Vanderbilt game. As bad as that game has been, we make it a tradition to go. And now I've got a decision because it's one of my friends, like from back home.
Oh, don't go. Wait, do you still keep in touch with him? Like, do you ever talk to him?
Yeah, I mean, I talk to him not like every day, not like you guys, but like he was one of my best friends growing up and going through high school. But like,
bro, you got to go to the wedding. Sorry. I wanted to be on your side.
Wait. Does Sarah know about it?
Sarah knows about it.
Yeah, you got to go to the wedding.
Sorry.
Well, she actually wants to skip it and go to the game.
Okay.
She's giving you an out, bro.
Yeah.
Or she's testing you.
If the wife is ever like, hey, we don't have to go to this if you know. Okay, cool. Say less.
Which
take your outs when you got them, man.
I hope the guy that I'm talking about doesn't watch this. I was almost like being
you should have scheduled your wedding on a different day.
Yeah, I was almost like, well, I gotta work, which I don't think I do. I'm pretty sure I've checked my schedule and I'm not at work that day. But.
Not a ton to talk about, in my opinion, this past weekend in college football.
I've got a ton to talk about.
No, you don't. There weren't any games between ranked teams, which the last time that happened, there was like 5 upsets that happened. But anyways,
it's been a while.
Tennessee beats Chattanooga. Thank God. Woo, 1-2. Woo! But
big win, baby.
I think the energy that I saw out of Tennessee in the Chattanooga game, they score first, right? I think I missed the first part of the game.
They scored.
So they scored first, then they blocked the punt.
I missed it too, but they scored really fast. They blocked the punt. They rattled off a lot of points fast.
Yeah.
They had 21 points, I believe, in the first quarter.
And that, in my opinion, is how the Georgia State game should have won.
Should have been, yeah.
But Tennessee didn't come out with that energy in the Georgia State game. Ohio State rolled over Indiana. Penn State and Pittsburgh won. Penn State beat Pittsburgh, and it was like a really close game, but it was a really bad game.
Wait, which one?
Pittsburgh and Penn State. Penn State won by 7. It was an early game. Temple upset Maryland. Alabama rolled against South Carolina.
Yep. That actually was a pretty close game, like for a while.
Yeah, and I think Helinski is going to be a good quarterback for them. He impressed me. UCF beat Stanford 45-20.
Guys, I watched this game.
It was forever.
I watched almost all 6 hours of this game.
I didn't even know what was going on. You texted me and you were like, "Holy crap!" And I didn't even know it was delayed or anything like that.
So, the Iowa versus Iowa State game, which is a whole thing. It's a big thing.
It was college game day. College game day was there.
There you go. I don't know what that means, but it was a big thing. They have this big trophy that they
Cyhawk.
The Cyhawk, yeah, and then they call it some other stuff. It's crazy. I didn't know, but apparently Iowa has been dominating that for years, and they continue to do so for I think the 5th year in a row or something like that. I don't know. I watched it and it was close. There were some field goals going back and forth, and it was 6 hours long. And I just happened to keep watching all these rain-delayed games, and happened to watch some of the longest. Did you
stay on the same channel the whole time?
Because I'm not watching all the other stuff. I just had it on the stream the whole time.
Oh, okay.
And then did other stuff.
Well, I was like, is Hayden just laying on his couch, just watching
the 6 hours?
I was laying right there.
College football red zone.
It was kind of cool because it was college red zone. Because they kept flipping between all the different games.
Were you on Sports Surge?
Yes,
dude. That's the ticket now.
Yeah, don't tell anyone about that because people found out about NFL streams and college streams. That's getting shut down.
I'm waiting.
College streams, I think, is already shut down.
I'm waiting until MLB streams goes down. Hopefully, Sports Surge picks it up.
DirecTV hit me with the AT&T about this time last year. Actually, it was like a little further down the road, but they were doing the AT&T was walking around neighborhoods, and they knocked on my door, and they're like, "Hey, do you have AT&T?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do." I was about to close the door, and they're like, "Do you have DirecTV?" And I was like, "Hold on a second. I've been wanting DirecTV for a long time. At our apartment in Caroline's, or at our house in Caroline's, been like, no, we don't need it. Like, we don't even watch that much TV. And I was like, okay, first of all,
because we don't have DirecTV.
Okay, first of all, speak for yourself. But they were like, so if we had CDE, I think at the time, and it was terrible. And AT&T had the fiber thing, and so I was like, okay, we're doing this. And they're like, oh, by the way, if you get DirecTV, you get NFL Sunday Ticket for free the rest of this year and next year. And I was like,
how much is Direct now?
Direct, it's like $50 a month.
That's not horrible.
And when I've looked into it, YouTube TV's about the same.
Yeah, it's like
Hulu TV's not about the same.
YouTube's like $49, and I know Hulu's $49.
And so
I had a free subscription one time.
We're sticking with that for now because they've ended up. And I'm getting an NFL Sunday Ticket. And next year, I might just kind of let it build to our account, but it's like a cool $300 or something like that. Yeah, it's not cheap.
Yeah. Yikes. See, I'm still at like I don't watch enough TV besides sports. Yeah. So like, I'm just like, hey, I'll find a stream.
Yeah, you know? And I had just gotten at my apartment. Our internet was so bad that it was really hard to watch streams. So I was just like,
that's weird. I have CDE. I don't have a problem with it.
It's probably because you live. I don't know.
Over here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess you don't live over over here. This internet in this house is incredible.
Do you have CDE?
Yeah.
Huh.
It's incredible. But it's just, I think it's just the area.
Well, like
over on your side of town.
The way they explained it to me, like CDE, everyone in the neighborhood that had CDE would essentially feed off like the same wire, but with AT&T you would have your own wired connection to your house.
Nice. I like that.
So like if I was the only person in the area with CDE, that's how fast my internet is with AT&T. Gotcha. So we're gonna roll on Florida Kentucky game was really good game.
Yeah, that was.
I think if Felipe Franks stays in the game that Florida loses, they had zero momentum. Kentucky had all the momentum. Mm-hmm. Kyle Trask comes in, who actually I saw today, he hasn't started a football game since his freshman year of high school. He backed up he was at Manville High School in Texas, which is a pretty big school.
It's my current internet.
They're usually really good in football, and he backed up De'Aaron King, who's the quarterback at Houston.
Gotcha.
And so he isn't this week
crazy.
in the swamp will be his first starting quarterback role since his freshman year of high school.
That makes me excited as a Tennessee fan, but it also scares the
he's gonna
mess
play
out
like
of
an
me.
All-American
because
Tennessee.
it always. I think I tweeted this out the other day. I don't think Tennessee's actually faced a starting Florida quarterback, because even last year they didn't know if Felipe Franks was going to be the starter for the game.
Yeah, it was kind of like him.
So Tennessee hasn't faced like a starting Florida quarterback for I think the past 4 years. There was that one time. Well, no, it was Kentucky that they brought that wide receiver in as a quarterback, and he whooped us. But yeah,
his name's Randall Cobb.
Oh, it was Randall Cobb, wasn't it?
And he wanted to go to Tennessee really bad because he's from Alcoa, and Tennessee was like, "Nah, no thanks. There's
been a lot of those type of no thanks.
But that was a really good game. Like I said, I think Dan Mullen has wanted Kyle Trask to be his quarterback, going back to last year. But then Kyle Trask got hurt, had a season-ending injury, and so Felipe, they were just kind of like, oh well, I guess that we'll just keep rolling with this guy.
Do you think that he is way better than Franks? I mean, I'm not a big believer in Franks, but do you think
he looked a trillion times better than Felipe Franks?
I didn't really get to see a whole lot of that game. It's crazy to me that he did get a D1 scholarship and he hasn't really started a game his whole high school career.
Yeah,
especially to Florida.
He didn't have many offers. I don't know if he walked on at Florida. All he had was like Houston Baptist, McNeese State. Like he didn't have hardly any offers, but that game was really good. Kentucky had a chance to win it.
Man,
poor guy.
Kickers have been really scrutinized, like NFL and NCAA. It seems like
as is tradition. This week, college has some pretty good games. Utah and USC play on Friday. I'm interested to see that game. I think Utah's for real. I think that they're really, really good. Auburn and Texas A&M is one that I'm paying attention to. Earlier I said it was a top 15 matchup. A&M somehow slid in the rankings after winning last week, but I mean it was just to Lamar, but still. But it's 8 versus 17. That's the CBS game at 2:30.
Real quick, do you think
Iowa's got to buy
LSU and Vanderbilt play. That will probably be a bloodbath. Of course, Tennessee and Florida play. That's ESPN at 11. I can't ever remember Tennessee and Florida kicking off at 11. And I know that's like more that's more so of a thing because of Tennessee, but I don't ever remember.
It's in Florida.
Yeah, it's in the swamp.
It's gonna be so hot.
It's gonna be hot. Well, it's gonna be hot either way if it's in Knoxville or it's in Florida.
Michigan and Wisconsin play. So Tennessee, Florida, and Michigan, Wisconsin are both at 11. Michigan Wisconsin game I think is gonna be really good. Cal and Ole Miss I think is gonna be an okay game. Cal is 23rd in the nation. They played really well this year.
I don't really have that much faith into Ole Miss to make that a game.
Who else? And Georgia and Notre Dame play top 10 matchup. It's at Georgia this year. Georgia's favored 13.5. I saw the get-in price for this game is like it's the highest this year, but it's also among the highest in the past 5 years, I think. And I think it's close to like $600.
It wasn't
price. What was $611 or something?
Wasn't the get-in price for the Vanderbilt Georgia game more expensive than that?
No, it was like $200.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But you think
what was the one that you said it was like $900? It was like last week. I think you said one of them was not. Was it the Texas LSU?
Yeah, Texas LSU was high. Yeah. I don't think it was that high, but you got to think Sanford Stadium in Athens seats 90-something thousand.
Yeah. Which it doesn't look like it should.
Yeah, it's deceiving.
It's kind of crazy.
But I think that's the game of the week. Notre Dame and Georgia. I think Georgia rolls. I will never believe in Notre Dame until they prove something. Until they prove something to me.
Because it always seems like
we always put Notre Dame in the playoff for the college football championship.
Yeah, and I think that's just kind of where like I feel like their history almost takes them there. And like the analysts, like it's all the media people that really want Notre Dame to be there.
I believe that Notre Dame shouldn't be able to get in the college football playoff until they join a conference.
Yeah.
I think it's ridiculous that they play a lot of like ACC schools, but they can play whoever they want. And then, they're like, we're just beating the teams on our schedule. And it's like, well, yeah, if you joined a conference,
you would
you'd have
get a tougher schedule.
Just think how cool it would be if they joined the Big Ten or something and you play because they're
Which
already,
I think they belong there.
Yeah, and they're rivals with Ohio State and Michigan and in some capacity Michigan State. And I'm like,
in no way do
y'all just join the Big Ten.
Right. In no way do
Rutgers
I think,
or something.
In no way do I think they're bad. I just don't think they're that caliber.
Yeah.
Like, I think they're a great football team. I think they're top 10, but I don't think they're top 4 to compete against the lights of, Clemson and Alabama and what Georgia has become, what Ohio State can be at times.
It's wash, rinse, repeat with Notre Dame. They get hyped up. They get beat by Georgia like they did last year, and then they're close to making the college football playoff, or they're in it, and then they get smacked.
And see, I think that's somewhat of their conditioning of their schedule. I think if they did play those type of teams throughout the year, they would eventually get to that point where they're used to playing those, so they would start to dominate those. It's just, I feel like it's almost like a culture shock when they get to a bigger school like that because they're so used to whooping up on guys on kind of a lower seed. I'm not saying they play small teams.
They'll play good teams, but they don't play great teams week in and week out like you have to in the Big Ten and the SEC.
Somewhat in the ACC at times.
And the Big 12, like, I'm not going to say the Pac-12 because I don't think they're very good. But
Pac-12 has really hit a hard spot the past 2 or 3 years.
I think Utah is probably the best team in the Pac-12, and then maybe the second best is Cal, because Cal beat Washington a few weeks ago, and so I don't know. But I think Georgia is just grown man football, and I think Georgia's offensive line, the entire offensive line, has a chance to probably play on Sunday.
Yeah.
All of them. And so I think Notre Dame is good for what Notre Dame has always been. I don't see this game. I think it might be close to that 14 point, but I don't see it being even as close as the score indicates. Yeah. But we're going to move into NFL. We wanted to spend a lot of time because I know we have a lot of opinions about the Titans game. In case you missed it, Titans lose 19-17 to the Colts at home. In a game that Hayden, you can attest to this, had a really good atmosphere, retiring Eddie and Steve's numbers at halftime, 9-27, never to be worn again by any Titans player. And so, in my opinion, it was a chance, and we talked about this a little bit last week, but it was a chance to go up to 2-0, and at that point, there was a chance that it was only going to be you and one other team undefeated in the division. Now you look at it, a game that the Titans kind of let slip away, in my opinion, and the Texans are 2-0, Titans are 1-1, Colts are 1-1,
Texans are 1-1.
Oh yeah. So everybody's 1-1 except for the Jags. Sorry, you're right.
Yeah.
I think I don't know why I thought that, but anyways,
maybe undefeated in the division or something.
Yeah, and maybe I don't know. They almost got beat by.
They almost won that Saints game.
Yeah,
so.
And they almost got beat by the Jags.
Right.
What a turnaround! Like you almost beat the Saints on Monday night. Will Lutz hits an absolute missile to win, and then Gardner Minshew almost leads the Jags to victory against.
They went for 2, right? The Jags.
Yeah, they went for 2 at the end. They ran it.
I didn't watch the game, but they had been running it up the middle with Fournette, and it hadn't been working all game. So when they decided to put the game on the line by running Fournette up the middle, and
it was just I don't know, if I'm going for 2, I'm like I'm putting the ball in the air, and hoping maybe we get a pass interference call or something and get another shot at it, but I'm not running the ball. I mean, I I don't understand running the ball for a 2-point conversion.
Right.
But
I mean, what about handing it off to your tight end / fullback?
Yeah. In case you miss it, the Titans did that last year. But Titans lose. A lot of people think the world's on fire. I don't necessarily think the world is on fire, but this game to me was
It's a chance to prove that we can win games we're supposed to win.
Yeah.
And we didn't.
And after winning by 30 in Cleveland, which that score was a little inflated, but is kind of the same old Titans, it feels like. You know what I mean? Like, same old. Yeah. Same old defense. Like, this is a Super Bowl caliber defense, I think. They all played really, really well, except for, I don't think Adoree Jackson's that good. I just think he gets killed by T.Y. Hilton and DeAndre Hopkins, except for that one play he had. But this game to me was very indicative of, I think, what Marcus is, and that like pains me to say because
sounds like you're breaking up with him.
I feel so sad. I might cry, but I've just been a Marcus believer all the way, and this game to me was like he missed some really easy throws, and even the last throw to AJ Brown, he misses Corey Davis, who's wide open. We're going to show you that. First of all, I don't like the decision to spike it on third down.
Yeah, Corey
Davis. He's the very bottom. And so he's going to throw it to AJ Brown on the left.
See Corey, his guy falls right there.
Yeah, Corey Davis is wide open, and it looks like he yells at Marcus.
Corey got pissed.
So here's my defense of the play, and I'm not going to sit here and defend Mariota the whole time because he played bad. I think I'll get into what I think is the issue with Marcus right now, but in this play in particular.
Yeah, I mean, I see what he's looking at. You've got a safety that's down the line that Corey Davis is probably running a slant as well, or he definitely is. And you've got that safety that's right on that first down marker. And you have pretty much no help over there with AJ Brown. But he doesn't look any other way.
That's my defense comes in that he doesn't look any other way. Because there's no time to look any other way.
Yeah.
He doesn't have time, and he hadn't been doing it all game anyways, which is an issue. But in this particular case, he's got his guy. He doesn't have time to boom, boom.
Well, Delaney gets doubled, which makes sense. Humphreys has Leonard. I think that's Leonard right there in the middle of the field. A.J. Brown's one-on-one. Corey Davis is one-on-one. And Corey's got falls, and I get that it's kind of it's a quick slant route. There's there's only 15 seconds left in the game. You don't have any timeouts. You're going to have to clock it right after this. I mean, we're hoping Cairo Santos can make a 57, 58 yarder.
The issue is he's the last receiver. Corey Davis is the last receiver in his read. He starts looking left, goes to the last receiver. My biggest issue with this play, besides the fact that it's fourth down, can we all agree that we shouldn't have clocked it on third?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I don't think you should have.
There's no way.
And the commentator said this, but it was like, okay, this is the game. Like, if you can run this play on third down. If you don't get it, you can
one
run
more
something
try.
else.
Right. yeah, exactly. And I think that was just bonehead.
And the throw, my thing here too is the throw is off, and it's like, it's a quick read and it's a quick play.
And that's throws
but it's
that year
high.
5 Mariota should be able to
also,
put right in the middle. You know what I mean?
Sorry, say that again. Sorry,
that's year 5. That's a throw that we're still seeing Mariota struggle with. Well, and that's just the thing.
So my issue with this play is that they're all running slants in the middle of the field.
Yeah,
it's like
and with no timeouts.
What are you doing?
Well, and
have a guy like he should
running
be
an out route.
He should be cutting right. That's probably why he freaking was like, "Whoa, he's going the wrong way. What's he doing?"
And I'm like, that whole drive though, we didn't throw towards the boundary at all.
Not once.
No.
Not once.
I mean, we threw to the middle of the field, and I know that you kind of have to take what you can get, but you don't have any timeouts at this point, and I'm like standing up in my living room watching this game, like, guys, we gotta go.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
And so this week, I didn't sit where I usually sit, which is at the top of the lower bowl. I sat with my sister's boyfriend. He's got season tickets, and it's in the same end zone. It's on the other side, and it's a little bit deeper. So, first of all,
So were you on the back side?
I was on this side over here.
Okay.
Kind of towards this way, pretty much where the fire was.
Behind Mario.
It was like right where the fire was. If it gone out of control, I could have died.
Okay, don't do that. Don't do that, Hayden.
Just saying. Anyways, first of all, I didn't like that. I don't like sitting in the stands with the people.
You don't have room.
That, and I hate everyone. I hate them all. My God, they all think they're coaches. Every one of them. And I know
Hey, why are we running this?
Where's Tannehill? And I'm like,
Ryan Tannehill.
Oh my God.
Do people not realize that? And I sent you guys a text about this earlier or yesterday, but Tannehill's a backup quarterback for a reason. He didn't have a starting role on a team for a reason this year.
Well, and I think Tannehill is probably the best backup in the league.
Yeah, no doubt.
But you know what you're getting with Tannehill. Miami paid almost all of his salary this year to not play for them.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I think the Titans are only paying him like $5 million this year. Which,
nice.
I mean,
I'm about it.
I would
seems like a lot in retrospect, but
you say that, but then yeah. And I don't think that, so it's hard to do you, but I didn't even realize that guy. Thought he was the end. Oh well. The clock. And if you're listening, we're watching it. So the throw's there.
yeah, and it hits his hands. It's a throw. It's a catch as an NFL receiver.
Yeah.
He even said this post game. I've got to make that catch. It hit me in the hands. It was a little high, but I should have made the catch.
Here, they'll show it again.
Yeah.
I can see why he threw it.
Yeah.
I mean, in all respect,
but then again, do they even get a clock off to kick a field goal?
That's my main issue with that play is why did we throw in the middle of the field?
And it's not like
why?
It's not like it was a hurry up. Oh, we got to run this play real quick. Like,
they
had clocked it before.
They had 40 seconds on the play clock to figure this out.
It did seem like a really rushed play for because that's what I was thinking. I was like, you clocked it. Why not take a little bit more time to figure out a play? I honestly think, which I don't know. I mean,
do you remember in the Eagles game last year when we were in overtime and Nick Williams got the pass interference call against him? I think that's like almost the same play.
Really? Or
yeah.
Maybe trying to get
it. He was running that slant, and I think, honestly, I kind of think the Titans were
hoping for a flag.
I think on that play, like, it was borderline. I think it was close.
It was close, but
I don't think it was,
right.
but I wouldn't have thought they would have thrown it in the Eagles game to, keep the game alive.
Nick Williams.
Yeah. But I don't – that's just a game that I'm like – you don't know how close our schedule is. I mean, I think our schedule is a little easier now that the season's gotten started. I don't think the Falcons are as good. I don't think
teams that we're playing are dying.
Yeah, well, every quarterback in the league is dying. Like, who would have thought that the Titans have one of the most healthy quarterbacks in the league right now? Who do we have that's gone down? We have Foles that's gone down. Sam Darnold has mono, which evidently
we play them. No, we don't. Did they come third last year in their division?
I think we do play them.
I don't remember. Yeah.
But Nick Foles got hurt. Sam Darnold's got mono.
Trevor Siemian. He's out for the season.
Yeah, his ankle gets super messed up. Cam Newton is not Cam Newton anymore. Who else?
Colts have,
Brissett.
Which
Jaguars have Gardner Minshew that we just talked about. Who knows if the Texans?
Big Ben for the year.
Big Ben, Drew Brees.
So
and we played Drew Brees.
Of all those, let's see. We play. Let's see here. Colts again.
Saints.
And the Saints, but I think he'll be back by then.
Yeah.
Drew Brees. So we're not really affected all that much by.
But I mean, who knows if Deshaun Watson is still playing for the Texans? He got sacked 10 times.
2 games.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I get that you bring in Laramie Tunsil and you kind of have to because you don't have a starting left tackle. My thing is, how much worse is their offensive line if they don't bring in Tunsil? Like, it's abysmal.
Mm-hmm.
But this game to me was just, I wasn't surprised that the Titans lost it because it's the same. It's the Bills game from last year. It's the same stuff the Titans have been doing,
for years.
And it's frustrating because Mike Vrabel was on Bussin' with the Boys over the summer, and he said that they asked him, like, what's the biggest kind of change that you want to make? And he said, I want to be more consistent. We go out and we beat teams like the Patriots, but then we lose games that we shouldn't lose. And I think he's referring to,
Buffalo.
the Bills that you lose 13-12.
Mm-hmm.
You don't score a touchdown in a winnable game.
Yeah.
And it would be different if it was like the Texans game from last year or one of the Colts games, the first Colts game from last year, when it's like, okay, we don't have a shot. Like, then, but this game was,
we had a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And are we having the same? Yeah. Are we having the same conversation if Santos makes that field goal, which he's been really good? Yeah. So I don't knock him. He's been really good.
I think that's
that's
a kick that Suckup could have missed.
Yeah.
It was still in the 50, within the 50, right? I think it was
40 something. Yeah.
But Suckup still,
it's not automatic.
Last year has been missing those. So, my biggest issue with this game is what happened to the play calling.
Yeah.
Last week's play calling, we were praising it. Everyone was saying it was great. We loved it. This week's first half was whatever. Second half, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. Well, Derrick Henry looked like he was getting going, and like I said under my breath, I was like, all right, like, let the big dog eat. It looks like he's getting his motor, and when he gets his motor, you better hand him the ball.
Yeah.
And I thought they went away from him way too quick, and I just was like,
it was baffling.
Yeah. They're wearing down their defense, who already, their defense played really well, like really, really well. They were down 2 guys on the defensive line, so it's like, it's almost like Arthur Smith had 6 months to game plan for the Browns, and then 1 week to prep for the Colts.
He forgot
it was like,
the Colts were coming up.
Yeah. Oh gosh, this is a quick turnaround. But like, I don't know. I thought that they played really well to a lot of Marcus's strengths against the Browns, and you saw a lot of misdirection, and especially in the touchdown pass to Derrick Henry, you fake twice, you fake a handoff, you fake a throw to the right, and then you come back left to Henry. Like, we didn't see that.
I tell you what, the going away, so Henry would come in, get some runs in, and then third down might come up, 3rd and short. And then we put in Dion Lewis because he's our third down back, which I get because he's more of a receiving back. But that makes more sense when it's 3rd and medium to long.
Yeah.
3rd and short, just put Henry in, put him in, like run with him again if he gets 5 yards,
Yeah.
It was just so frustrating how much we saw Lewis. I'm like, I hope
it was 50-50, right?
I hope that it was close, something like that.
I think it was 50-50.
I hope J-Rob cuts Dion Lewis, not because I think Dion Lewis is bad or not,
just so he doesn't use him,
just so that we're not tempted to use him.
Yeah.
When we're not supposed to.
Last year the Grizzlies had a player named Shelvin Mack, and he was a horrible backup point guard, but for some reason the coach would always put him in like crunch time in 4th quarter. And around the trade deadline, he got shipped off for a flip-flop and a bag of Cheetos to Atlanta. And Grizzlies fans were like, yes! And everyone was like, you didn't get anything back for him. It was like, we just don't want him on the team.
Yeah.
Like, we just don't want him on the court.
Yeah, addition by subtraction.
Exactly.
Which is, like I said, I think Dion Lewis is a great back.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he could contribute to this team, but we're being so dumb. I don't know.
Do you think it's because... do you think Derrick Henry got tired? Do you think that's why?
It was really hot.
It's weird for him to get that tired, though, because he's always been a workhorse.
Right.
But, like, he was a workhouse at Alabama playing in the same heat.
25 plus carries every game.
In Alabama, they, like, overused him.
Yeah.
And in Alabama heat. And you're playing in the SEC, you're playing in Texas, you're playing in Baton Rouge. And, like, it was really hot, but... First of all,
it was the hottest game.
It was just as hot for everybody else
in Nissan Stadium history.
Yeah.
Really,
it was over 100 degrees on the field.
Yeah, it was hot.
Plus a fire.
Yeah, that was great.
I was right there. It was awesome. I almost died.
They started talking about it, and I was like, what is going on?
This is either a good sign or a horrible sign.
And I was like, the field looks great and everything, and then there's just a big burnt spot on the sideline.
You sent me a text. What did you say? You were like, something about the pyrotechnics combusting, and I was like, oh, well, like I thought it was like fireworks that like, oh, they just like exploded out of nowhere, like kind of unintentionally. And then I saw the fire video, and I was like, oh.
They said that like on like not the Red Zone channel, but the channel that shows all the games at once. That you see like game, fire, game.
Yeah, it's so weird. And I saw something, salt in the wound. It was like, oh, I didn't know the Tennessee Vols were playing on Sundays now. I was like, oof.
I saw the same thing, but the Dolphins, which I guess makes me feel better.
That hurts.
When they said it was pyrotechnics, I was like, part of me was like, what if? And I saw that like the thing fell over. And that's
I don't
like
think it fell.
It didn't fall. It was
just
on all four
it just
wheels.
was like,
well, I was like, what if it was fireworks and the fireworks fell over and started shooting everywhere in Nissan Stadium? How crazy would that be? That would be pandemonium. Well,
there was tons of smoke, so that section like that it was going towards scattered, and I'm like, where did all those people?
There's a fire on the field.
Right. Yeah, there was a point where I was kind of like, should I start leaving? It's like, you know how those things work. If you ever, I'm really morbid, so I go on like stupid subreddits that don't exist anymore called Watch People Die. And I watch people die. It's really bad. But there's videos of people and they're like watching a show and they're in a building and pyrotechnics go off and like a curtain catches on fire.
And then everybody gets trapped.
You get like 3 seconds before people just like fall on top of each other.
Was like, I'm not going to be on that dead
That's what I'm saying. I'm getting out now. I was thinking about it.
I've seen Final Destination before.
Yeah, exactly.
But the thing is like, what's going to catch on fire? You know, like there's nothing around it. Like, you know, those tarps or whatever could have caught, but it's not like...
Everything's metal, concrete, and plastic.
Yeah. So it's not...
The goal line the little thing that they put, you know, the markers,
the pylon.
Yeah.
It was like it was halfway melted.
Yeah. It was the goal line. It was like the goal line. That marks it. Yeah.
Not like the straight up and down thing.
Yeah.
But the one that had the G on it, you know, where it's like 50, 40, 30. It was the halfway melted. It was just like foam.
When they did it,
half the G.
It was funny. They put like a thermometer on it, and so it looked like the sun had melted it, and they're like, "That's not from the sun. That is because a fire was on the field."
The funniest thing to me, was the guy that had the fire extinguisher at first, because you could tell he was absolutely just so rattled.
And it was still spewing
it
fire.
Looked like
it was gas.
Yeah, it looked like the fire extinguisher did nothing.
And the funniest thing to me was like, you know, that there's like Nashville Fire Department there, and they were probably just like, I'm looking at that guy.
You could tell that you just had to let whatever was burning just burn up, because it was like, and then he used it all. Then he had to get another guy, and then they just keep like spraying foam, and
they had that at one point. I saw it in the background. It wasn't like supposed to be in frame or anything. I think it was like a player on the sideline, and I saw in the background, and a guy just had a broom, and he was like, it looked like he was like sweeping the dirt, and I was like, what's going on? But I know that
bizarre day.
I think Titans fans are much like any other fan base, that they're just incredibly reactionary and. The world's on fire, or we're going to the Super Bowl. Because a joke, and it wasn't that much of a joke at the time, but I called my dad after the Titans beat the Browns, and I was like, hey, should we like buy plane tickets to Miami yet for the Super Bowl? And so
back and forth.
Even Sunday, I called him and I was like, okay, hear me out. I still think we should get those tickets. But it was so funny. Like, it went from like, oh gosh, Arthur Smith is going to get a head coaching job, to like, fire Arthur Smith. He did a terrible job. And it was like, gosh,
he did have some, just to have some Arthur Smith, you know, good things.
Yeah.
That Questenberry touchdown was
that was awesome.
Well done. I was so surprised. I was like, oh!
Well, and that wasn't Marcus's first read. Like when
really, I wasn't.
Lawan scored a couple years ago in the Colts game, and they threw back to him.
We lost that game too. This is kind of a trend there.
And I was at that Colts game, but like that was like a screenplay set up for Lawan. But Questenberry was a tight end. Mariota looks left, and then his eyes come back middle, and he sees him and throws it to him.
Can we talk about the snag though? Because it wasn't like it was right into his chest. He had to turn around and snag it from behind.
Everything I saw was real time, so I don't remember because I did not want to rewatch. Like I was too depressed to like sit there and watch the Colts beat us. So. Go for it. I don't know anything about the snag.
Yeah, it was a good catch,
so
but
nice.
I think Darren Bates said it too, but he was on the field goal unit team, and so as soon as he caught it, he gave the ball to someone, but you see him go right to a spot for field goal. It was pretty cool. Here's the look. Oh wait,
there's the close.
So. Mariota's gonna look left. So he looks left, and then he comes back middle. And I noticed
what a snag.
I noticed it because you could kind of see his feet. Like, I think that's something that's
awesome.
That if y'all don't know, this guy Questenberry,
he's had a really cool story.
He had Hodgkin's lymphoma, beat it, came back, was out of football for like 3 years. Was on the Titans practice squad last year, and is right now on the active roster. So it was a more than. And Hayden, you didn't even know that, did you? About the
I did not know that. No,
I thought I'd seen that or something, and so when he scored, I was like, "Oh, cool!" Like they got the guy that had cancer, they got him a touchdown kind of thing. But yeah, that was a really cool story. Something that alarmed me was Mariota's feet. I thought. First of all, he needs to stop jumping.
Gosh, please.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Like,
especially when you're not getting anything.
Yeah, there was one where he got off the ground, got a first down, then it got called back. But then there was one he was headed to the sideline and jumped for no reason.
Yeah.
It's almost
what are you jumping
it almost
for?
seems like a habit.
He does have a habit of doing that because I know I've seen a few other times, especially around the goal line, which is okay if you're trying to score a touchdown, I guess. But yeah, he's done that countless times. I've seen it countless times. It's definitely a habit for him.
And what made me nervous, like I was saying, was his feet. When the play breaks down, his feet just look like popcorn. Like just like, oh gosh, I don't know where to go. And I think that is what like attributes a lot to the sacks is because he, like you said, I think Hayden, he doesn't want to throw picks because right now the big thing is on him is that his touchdown interception ratio is close to the same, whatever. So I think he hears that in the back of his head and he's like, I don't want to throw a pick, whatever. But when the play breaks down, instead of being able to make like an elite throw, just putting the ball on the money, which he can do occasionally, but his feet start jumping around and he doesn't know where to go with it. And then the pocket just collapses on him. And one of the plays that alarmed me a lot, truthfully, was the one where Leonard sacked him and he's looking around, he doesn't see anything, and so he has a gap, what he thinks is a gap up the middle, so he goes to take it, but Leonard was spying on him the play, and Leonard just comes up and makes an easy sack, and I'm like, did you not see him there the whole time?
Yeah. And see, the thing with me is like I'm okay with a few picks here and there when you're trying to make a throw downfield because they don't go downfield a whole lot.
Our longest completion, by the way, was the 25-yarder to Corey Davis.
Right. And I think they have the receivers to do so. They have Corey Davis. A.J. Brown, I'm sure, can make plays downfield. He's pretty electric with the ball. We've seen.
I know he can. I saw it in college.
You see those, and you think to yourself, why? Like, why? Why doesn't he go down? Sometimes, I mean, you just gotta pray, throw it up and pray that your receiver makes a play. That's why they're there. They won't ever make those plays.
Yeah, and trust your arm that you can, like the touchdown to Corey Davis last year against the Patriots. He put it on the spot, and I know Marcus has made those throws a couple times, but I thought our game planning was super conservative because I looked at his throw or his like his chart of where all of his throws went, whatever it was. And first of all, 6 of his completions, I forget how many he had, were behind the line of scrimmage, which I was like, oof. But then he only had one throw over 20 yards, and it was the one to Corey Davis. I think it was on the touchdown drive. But I'm just like, you bring in Corey Davis, Adam Humphries, AJ Brown, you get Delaney back, Jonnu can even catch the ball, and Tajay made some. Even though he made that really bonehead play, and we can talk about that. He had that really good catch on the boundary, where he dragged his feet in. But I'm like, you have the best receiving core you've ever had. You know, if people right now are listening to us, you remember that they trotted out Nick Williams and Taywan Taylor, Darius Jennings, Cam Batson last year.
Eric Decker.
Yeah, 2 years ago you have Eric Decker, and it's just like this receiver group is night and day different than what the Titans have had in the past. Yeah. But that play with Tajay was like, it's not a we're cutting you. Bill O'Brien might cut him for it, but it's like this is Tajay's fourth year.
This will be his last year.
You can't do that.
You have to know where the sticks are.
Yeah.
So before I get into that, I kind of want to touch on what I think the issue with Marcus is, and you basically said it in that he I don't think he wants to throw a pick. I think he wants to protect the ball, and in doing so, he's holding on to it too long, and he's not throwing it.
Well, and that was his thing his first couple of years, was giving the ball up too much.
Yeah.
Like even fumbles. And
his first year, he had tons of fumbles. Second year, he fixed that.
Yeah.
I always said that every year he fixed something, and then that kind of stopped. Kind of last year and the year before. But he did fix things. His first 2 years, he fixed things. And so this year he's holding on to it too long. If his first read's not there, he's not sticking in the pocket and going through his progressions, and he's not throwing.
He freaks out, yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's just, I don't think that's him not being able to do that. I think that's him being scared to get the ball away.
Because, well, at some point, you know, like I just said, I think people are okay with a few picks when you're taking a deep shot, because at that point
we're taking a risky throw here and there.
Yeah. At that point, you gotta kind of start putting that, once that leaves your hand, as long as it's a throw in the area, especially a 50-yard, 45-yard throw, that's kind of on your receiver at that point to go up and make a play.
And he almost threw that pick that almost was like first and second year Marcus, where it was like, oh wow, he didn't even see that linebacker.
Because the thing with long throws like that, I mean, at some point your head coach and even your fan base is going to go, look, he's putting the ball there. He can't hold on to the ball the entire way 45 yards and place it right in the guy's hands. Yeah. That receiver has to go up. That's why they pay them to go up and make those catches. And then, so I think it's eventually going to go into a problem where, okay, people are complaining about his TD to pick ratio, TD to interception ratio, to where it's going to go into well, now he doesn't even take chances, and he's skittish.
You got to take chances.
And so then they're going to start to find problems with that. So he's in a hard spot, and I understand it's not just that easy to say, just to say that and go. But at the same time, he does have to realize he's got those guys that are able to make those plays. He's got to put a little bit more trust in them.
I wonder if he doesn't, like, in the moment think that. Like, he's had not great receivers. His best receiver always being Corey Davis.
Or Delaney.
Or Delaney, right. I mean, he trusts Delaney all day. He'll throw to Delaney. He doesn't care. Triple coverage, he'll do it.
Yeah.
But his receiver, it's always been his receivers that have let him down. And so I'm wondering if he's just having problems trusting them.
And I think that's where you saw on that last play of the game. I think that's just the frustration of Corey Davis. He was just, I know it's probably
Corey Davis is probably the most sure-handed guy on our team, honestly.
I know it's just like a knee-jerk reaction from Corey Davis every time, you know, just, we just lost the game. But at the same time, he's probably like, you just got to start trusting some people a little bit.
I wonder if we designed some shots just straight up to Corey and AJ, just like...
That's what I'm saying, like, against the Jags on Thursday Night Football, like, we've had their number, 1st and 10 on the 25.
Let's play around a little bit.
Let's throw the thing.
Let's play action to Derrick Henry.
And toss that jump.
Mofo.
Yeah.
Even with two great corners.
Yeah. Let's try it.
Let's try it. If anything, you got
It's an arm punt. We're probably going 3 and out in their first series anyways. So might as well throw it down the field.
Dumb theory. Dumb, stupid, I hate it, but I still can't help but think it, and I told you guys this in the text. Do you think they went away from Henry because it's a short week and we're playing Thursday?
Yeah, I've been thinking about that too. I wouldn't have thought that if you wouldn't have put that in my brain. But part of me thinks yes, but part of me thinks like Vrabel knew how big this game was.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Maybe Arthur Smith did.
Yeah.
And I think that there could be a discrepancy there. Vrabel's much more of a defensive mind, but I'm like, oh God, if we're actually thinking that, then
frustrating.
I'm like, which we don't have another Thursday night game, much less another primetime game the rest of the year.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just like, bro, if that for real happens, like, that's going to be a bummer. But honestly, it was all in all rough, like just a rough Sunday. It was just one of those games where you saw flashes and you thought, like, in the third quarter, I was like, all right, let's put this game away. And then all of a sudden the Colts score and it's like, oh crap, we're down.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why are we playing so conservative?
Yeah.
I think that's my biggest gripe with offensive coordinators, offensive coaches, whatever, is I think they get so conservative. My grandpa's always said that offensive coaches always try to prove that they're the smartest person in the room by doing whatever. And I think that they tried to do that. Like, I think, first of all, they went away from Derrick Henry. Like, you're trying to get too cute.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I think that coaches do that, and like offensive coaches do that in general. And I don't think Arthur Smith was necessarily trying to prove that he was the smartest man in the room,
mm-hmm.
but I'm like, oh geez, and I know that I'm not a coach.
Yeah,
probably will never be a coach.
Full disclaimer: we kind of almost have no idea what we're talking about,
and no credibility that much, really. Yeah. And so, but sitting on the couch, I'm like, okay,
mm-hmm.
us three.
Mm-hmm.
could have ran a better play than that.
Yeah.
Like, we could have schemed up something better than that.
Of course, we're not in the whole super, tense situation of being on the sideline.
Right,
we're probably a little bit clearer thinkers when you're sitting on the couch.
Well,
it's just half the problem of fans.
I think they just got to put this week behind you. You have to have a short memory in the NFL.
Yeah. Things like this are going to happen in the NFL.
Yeah.
It's the NFL. Anybody can lose to anybody every week.
Yeah, I'm really glad that our game's on Thursday.
You just got to stay consistent. This one game doesn't kill the whole consistency thing. I got to get it kind of put to damper because it's only week 2. You just had a massive win on week 1. You crapped the bed on week 2.
It was just a big letdown.
Yeah.
I'm not, now that I'm removed from Sunday, I'm like, okay, everything's okay. Like, season's going to be fine. But I'm like,
that's another thing we need to
talk about. It would have been really nice to win week 2 against the Colts when you should have won on Eddie and Steve's retirement day.
Right. When you saw the final incompletion,
I didn't believe it at first. Almost.
Yeah, what was your first reaction?
Oh, I completely believed it. I was like, yeah, that's how we were going to lose.
No. I see my first reaction was like, there's going to be something that's going to give us another play. That's definitely not the end. But then I kind of saw everybody starting to walk off, and I was like, oh.
It's like the end of the movie. Have you seen the movie The Mule?
No.
You need to watch it. But at
spoil
the end,
it for everybody right now.
I'm not going to spoil it. But
spoil
at the end,
for everybody right now.
No, because my brother does that, and I hate it. He's like, bro, I'm not going to tell you how it ends, but like, you won't believe it. This person dies. And I'm like, you just said you weren't going to spoil it. But the end of The Mule, it's like a really, really good movie, and it's really well done.
And
but at the end of the
dies.
movie, you're like, that's the end? Like, there's got to be something else.
No, I don't want to. He just spoiled it, dude. I don't want to watch it anymore.
But that's kind of how I felt about the Titans game, where I was just like, oh, what do I do the rest of my Sunday?
See, I was trapped at work too. Like there was nothing that I couldn't do. And I was sitting there and I was like, all right, well, it kind of ruined the rest of the games for me because I was so just upset. And then that I was kind of looking forward to what was it? The Falcons. Who was it?
Eagles.
Yeah,
Eagles.
Falcons Eagles. That was a horrible game.
And I was looking forward to the Saints and Rams.
Then
that was terrible
Saints
too.
and Rams, and then the Houston. I'm having a brain fart on all these games. The last game,
Houston Jags.
Yeah.
That was
Houston Jags. No, what was the last game? Was it the last game
tonight? Last night's game?
The Sunday
Browns
night
and
one?
Jets.
Yeah, Browns.
Not that one. No,
Sunday was the Falcons and Eagles.
Yeah, Falcons and Eagles. I was like, man, this really sucks. And then like that game actually ended up really like the ending was great.
I fell asleep by then. I had to be at work.
But I couldn't believe the ending was like, wow, this is really great. But it was like 3-3 at halftime. I was like, man, this just sucks. Like, do something. Somebody do something.
Come on, do something.
For me, the ending was you know when you're like in a relationship with the girl and like it's kind of coming to an end.
I know how I'm in a relationship.
When it's coming to an end.
Oh no.
And you don't want it to end, but she's breaking up with you. So you're just kind of like you're holding out hope until you hear that last like it's over, and then everything just falls apart. Because my sister's boyfriend had to leave early to go to like he's a coach. And so he had to go to coach's meeting. He was really pissed about it, but he had to go.
Coach?
He's like a wide receivers coach in Gallatin.
Oh.
So.
Oh, he followed me on Twitter.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
I told him about the podcast, so he probably.
Is that? I think I know what you're talking about.
He followed me on Twitter, and I was like, podcast getting notoriety. Here we go.
Zach. So, anyways, so I basically had the entire row all to myself.
Oh.
And so I'm all alone, and I see the drop happen, and I'm like holding out hope, looking for a flag.
Let me see some laundry. Come on, throw it.
Yeah, my heart just like sinks, and I'm like, it's over.
It's over.
It's like when
we make it sound like this was the Super Bowl. Oh, we're the worst.
It was close to it in the fact that it was the retirement game.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and I just feel bad too. Like I didn't go to the game, but like. It looked really full for the most part, and it's
hard to tell Titans and Colts because similar colors, but
there's a lot of stupid Colts fans because they were Peyton Manning fans.
Stupid Colts,
and then now they want to be Titans fans. And I'm like, sorry, bandwagon's full.
Get out of here.
No room on the bandwagon. Real quick, we can talk about the Jags on Thursday. This game got much more interesting to me now that Jalen Ramsey has requested a trade.
Oh, he's absolutely gonna let everybody catch every ball just so he release me, and then Titans are gonna be like, all right, dude, come on.
Well,
Adoree,
I don't think that the Titans will get him. Like, I want them to really bad because first of all, I'm like, oh, that Bussin' with the Boys episode come to fruition. Like, come on, Jalen, come back home. But then I'm like. But our locker room seems to do really, really well right now.
What are the chances that somebody on the Jaguars gets in a verbal altercation with a coach on Thursday night?
Oh,
100% so far with every game's happened.
And I'm like,
3 for 3, baby.
I don't think, especially with the Marcus quarterback questions looming, I don't see us trading first round pick to get him.
Especially we're a rival, clearly.
Yeah.
And they're asking for 2
They're not
rivals.
Well, and I saw something today that I don't know how much credibility it had, but it was like that they had heard a first in Corey Davis.
Ugh.
And I'm like, Corey Davis will torch us for years. I already know it. I already know it. Don't do that.
Yeah.
But we're almost at an hour, but real quick we can talk this your quarterback scenario.
I've got this board up right now, and it's like Pepe Sylvia.
It kind of looks like chicken scratch that Hayden like started doing at like midnight last night.
You know
when people do the yarn connecting?
Yeah,
it's really
Pepe
crazy.
Sylvia from
that's what that is.
Always Sunny, and so basically, just real quick, if Marcus plays like he did last week, and we don't.
Oh, if Marcus plays like he did last week, do you think we see Tannehill? Like if he continues week in and week out to play like he did on Sunday, do you think we see Tannehill?
The NFL's crazy part of me says absolutely. The Marcus is better than Tannehill part of me says no. Are you stupid? So
which Marcus is better than Tannehill?
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah. So this is basically if at the end of the year we decide not to extend Marcus. Kind of. There's also a scenario where we extend Marcus. So right now,
hopefully not that much money.
Right. Yeah. So right now I have teams that
Dolphins
are
worse.
worse than us and need quarterback are Dolphins, maybe, if they decide to move on from Rosen,
really
which would be the
Dolphins,
saddest
I would
thing.
rather have Mariota
worse.
than Rosen right now.
That's really sad. Poor
I
Rosen.
saw something on
And
Rosen.
and Elijah just hates Rosen.
I do hate Rosen. It was
say
all
why. We
because
all know
Josh
why.
Rosen said that after 50,000 people, stadiums don't matter that much, and then he went to A&M and got beat. But anyways, Josh Rosen, fun fact, has had a different offensive coordinator since his freshman year of college.
Oof.
Ooh, that's never a good
And then the Bucks, I think they'll move on from Winston. Panthers, there's a chance that
Cam's
Cam
done.
retires, that he's done, or maybe they just want to draft his heir. I don't know.
He's a year older than Andrew Luck.
Yeah.
He's been in the league.
He was
2011.
The Bengals, I always liked Andy Dalton. He's always been like that barometer for like starting NFL
What'd you used to call
quarterbacks.
him?
That boy.
That boy.
He is that boy. I didn't used to call him anything. I still call him that boy.
I was so confused when I first heard that because it was a Madden. I was playing Madden, and you were like, "Oh, get that boy!"
Get
I was
that
like,
boy. I'm
"Who
so
the freak
confused.
you talking about?"
I think that Zach Taylor? I think he just wants his own QB now.
Yeah.
And
and that's like, I don't know. Like, he comes from the McVay system, and I mean, honestly, the Bengals might have a top 5 pick.
Yeah.
So
you never. There's always a thing. I think the record will be worse than us. The Colts may be looking for a quarterback. Jacoby Brissett could be the future, but they could also.
They have a lot of money to spend too.
Yeah,
Looks good
so
so
he
far,
could
though.
also
I mean-
not be. I have them that were kind of equaled, but them have the edge since they just beat us. Saints, they
I don't know.
could depend. I don't.
Yeah.
This is weird. One, they could want to draft the heir to Breeze. Two, this could be Breeze's last year. A lot of question marks there. I don't know if they'll
And
be
he just
worse or
hurt his
better than
thumb.
us, so I put a big question mark. I guess I'm leaning towards worse.
One,
just
Bridgewater's
because-
a free agent.
Yeah. And then the Steelers, I think Big Ben will probably be done after this season.
I saw he's
done.
having Tommy John
surgery. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh, that's not good.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's done for the season, so he's probably. I think
I
he
can't
could be done
imagine
for
a
his career.
30-something-year-old quarterback coming back to
What do they
play
do
after
after-
Tommy John.
What do they do after Mason Rudolph? Because they just traded away Josh Dobbs.
They just signed
Paxton Lynch.
Yeah, to their practice squad.
Yeah.
Jackson Lynch, man.
Paxton Lynch, man.
Yeah.
If I had to start a team.
So I'm thinking that the top 5 picks are going to be Dolphins, Panthers, Redskins, Cardinals, and Jets, based off of just
Which
what I think
next
for
year's
right
draft, outside of the top 3, there's not a lot of quarterback.
You've got Tua, Herbert, and Fromm that I think are your locks for first rounders.
And I said there's always going to be that one guy, the Josh Allens,
yes,
and,
sneaks in.
that you just don't really hear of until some analyst starts
Sure.
circling
Hyping
about
up,
him.
Yeah.
Could be Sam Ellinger from
So
Texas.
with that,
Joe Burrow.
that means the Cardinals and I don't know why I didn't put that there, but the Cardinals, Jets, Redskins, and Dolphins could all potentially want to trade out.
Dolphins are tanking for Tua.
I mean,
yeah.
that's why I said potentially. And then
bad.
Poor guy. Tua's such a nice guy. It'd be like
He's gonna be
Marcus going for
sport,
the
yeah.
Dolphins.
yeah.
Dude.
So the Dolphins get drafted, or Dolphins draft Tua, Panthers draft whoever's next, and then maybe some other team trades up. Are we
Yeah.
that team? I don't think so.
Well, we could be, though.
It could be.
I don't think Jake Fromm will go 3rd overall is the thing.
I think
it could be a Trubisky situation where everybody freaks out and they're like, oh, we need a quarterback, and the Bears trade up, which they didn't need to.
Right.
49ers that year weren't going to take Trubisky. And so now they're stuck with a quarterback that I don't think that they like that much. And I think Fromm's going to be really good, but I don't think he's a top 3 guy. But then again, it's quarterback heavy league. Somebody could trade up to 3, and you have 3 quarterbacks go 1, 2, 3 because everybody's freaking out that they
that's
need
what
a
I think will
quarterback.
happen because there's so many teams with quarterback needs
Yeah.
next year.
Which we didn't think that there were that many, and then
Until
all of a sudden,
And then now everyone starts dying.
dropping
Yeah.
like flies, man.
And so then for free agents, if the Titans want to go that route, Teddy Bridgewater, which I don't love that.
no,
He's not a franchise guy, I don't think.
he has to wear a glove because his hand's not big enough.
Winston will probably be a free agent.
Let's get him.
Do you want to get James Winston,
J-Boo.
who
oh man,
arguably is when I say arguably, I mean almost definitely worse than Marcus Mariota. And then I
Oh,
can't
yeah.
really, I didn't really spend too much long on free agents. There's always going to be guys like Fitzpatrick and
Yeah.
all those kind of guys.
We've been there, done that.
Yeah, we've been there, done that.
Kind of miss Ryan.
So does that mean we extend Tannehill or extend Marcus? If we did that, I would imagine it's a 2-year deal where we can kind of cut them towards that second
front
year.
loaded.
Yeah, and then kind of see where we go from there. But that's just kind of putting off the inevitable. Or we trade for a quarterback on a team. For example, Andy Dalton, who I think he still has some years on his contract, so I put him at trade. Or
I don't want Andy
the
Dalton.
meme, Josh Rosen. And then there's probably some other ones out there. But
I think Josh Rosen can be a good quarterback. I think his attitude, I don't know how his attitude now is, but like when he was at UCLA,
Is it because of
pretty
the
much
A&M thing?
Well, yeah, but part of it was like everyone is like, this kid is a spoiled kid from Manhattan Beach who has a lot of money, has come from a lot of money, and then he goes to UCLA where he gets everything he wants because Jim Mora was his next door neighbor. And so then he goes to the NFL and everything hasn't quite worked out like he's wanted it to. So to be honest, I'm like, I don't want to touch Rosen with a 10-foot pole.
So of all the scenarios that I horribly
You know what? Let's
written
just
out
trade
there,
for Josh Rosen.
that I've horribly written out there, which one do you think would be best if Marcus plays like he has so far?
Truthfully, Josh Rosen.
Trade for Josh?
He'll still have
3 years.
3 years on his deal, and if you pick up his option. So that's 2 years to evaluate him and then pick up his option. I mean, I don't think if Miami is going to get to it anyways, I don't think it costs but a third or fourth maybe to get Rosen.
Okay.
And I don't know, maybe there's somebody we haven't seen. We've seen the Titans whiff on one quarterback with J-Rob, which was Luke Falk.
Who's starting, by the way.
Yeah, I still don't believe that.
Thrown into the fire.
That he's starting?
Yeah, I can't believe it.
Oh, I thought you were saying
it's unbelievable.
Like,
I mean,
okay, yeah,
they don't have
I
a
got
chance.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't. I mean, they don't have a chance. They probably don't have a chance. They don't have a choice.
Yeah. But I mean, I guess Rosen's the best option. I mean, maybe they take a quarterback in the second, third, or fourth. Honestly, I don't know. I would, if Big Ben comes back, I would call the Steelers and ask about Mason Rudolph and his availability because I liked him at Oklahoma State. I thought he was pretty good. But we'll see. I think it's hard to tell right now because I think it's hard to know what exactly the draft is going to look like because you don't know. I mean, who knows? Like, I think the Raiders could be looking to trade Derek Carr because I don't think Gruden likes him that much. I would take Derek Carr right now in a heartbeat. But I think there is going to be a guy from a team we don't really know about. It's like, oh, wait, this guy's really, really good. And we're like, oh, we didn't even know he existed. Yeah. So
you, what would you do in this situation?
Right now?
Yeah. Speaking 15 weeks out of the end of the season, in the regular season, what do you think is the best scenario?
See, my thing is, out of those three guys that are coming up from the draft next year, I said before this, maybe just front load that contract, but either between Mariota and Tannehill, and then figure out what comes up in the draft in 21. Mm-hmm. That's when you got, which I know it's a super long shot to get a guy like Trevor Lawrence or somebody like that.
Maybe we suck that bad.
But
we would really have to clean house.
Yeah, we would have to give up a lot to get that.
No, me either.
But yeah, I mean, right now it's still a toss up. Right now, I'm still kind of just week 2. Let's figure out, what we're gonna do for the season. Hopefully, Mariota somehow picks it up, somehow figures it out. That's
the hope, right?
Somehow gets that I can't throw interceptions kind of mindset out of his head because I think, I still think that he can do some things to get some wins, but I don't necessarily know if he's the guy.
So, here's a couple guys' names that I just looked at Walter Football. They're kind of like a mock. Their number 4 quarterback after the 3 guys we've talked about: KJ Costello from Stanford, Steven Montez from Colorado, Jacob Eason from Washington, Joe Burrow, LSU, Kellen Mond, A&M, who I don't see as an NFL quarterback as an A&M fan, Jordan Love, Utah State. Nate Stanley, Iowa. Sam Ellinger, Texas. Shea Patterson, Michigan. That's the top 12. And I'm like,
I don't like.
Yep, none of those tickle my pickle, man.
Yeah, my scenario is close to Braden's. Extend Mariota for a year or two, whatever. I guess they'll take, and then I think the second best would be what you're saying, Elijah. Trade for Rosen. You know me, I've always
chosen Rosen.
I've always loved Andy Dalton.
That boy.
So trade for him, maybe. I mean, if anything, he could, carry the ship for a season or two. Guess we'll see. It's a tough situation. You hope that Marcus just turns it around, becomes a All-Pro.
He somehow gets
that's gonna do it for this podcast. Follow us on Twitter. We are getting some traction on Twitter.
Yeah.
And by traction, I mean we have 10 followers.
You'll see us tweeting on game
It is
day.
at ST Sports Pod on Twitter. Same thing for Facebook. On Twitter, that's the best way to kind of keep up with some funny content that we've got going on game days.
Yeah.
We try and keep it fresh on there for y'all. So follow us there.
Spotify now.
Yeah, we're on Spotify now.
And as of today, I think we're on Apple Podcasts.
Yep.
So we'll link all that on Facebook, Twitter, to make that easy for y'all to find. But go on there, subscribe, comment, review. Tell us if you like us. If you don't, just keep that comment to yourself. Thanks for listening. This was the Summertree Sports Podcast.
Real quick before we sign off.
Okay,
sorry.
that was really good ending,
I know,
but Hayden ruined it.
I wanted to bring up our Patreon page, which means that you can donate to us.
Merch.
We have merchandise on Teespring. We'll link all of that.
It's on our Twitter already.
On
the bio.
descriptions and Twitters and everything. And so if you support us, I didn't mean to add the S, but I did. If you support us, it'd be awesome if you went on Patreon right now. We only have one tier, which is if you donate $3 a month, that means at the end of every podcast, you'll get a shout out in the credits on YouTube.
Shout out.
We have Elijah's pretty face for that. So
for the
to go there, go to
league.
patreon.com/Summertree Sports Podcast. Right now, we're looking to get around $20 a month.
Just to kind of support.
That keeps us afloat.
That literally keeps us afloat.
This is a hobby.
It's for getting, because we have to host our podcast and it's a whole thing. And I'm still learning a lot of that stuff. But so I just want to get out there. There's some financial stuff. If you support us, please go check out a shirt.
I should somehow in the next about a week or two have a shirt on. You guys can see that.
That's right.
It's in the mail right now. Hopefully it gets here. So
Braden's so excited.
So excited for it.
Yep. So keep us there. And then Elijah, do you want to bring us out one more time?
Yeah. Thanks for listening to the Summertree Sports Pod. This was episode 3. We are out.
Peace.
See ya.